Hello everyone, let's look at today's Leetcode problem 1550 marked as easy, 3 consecutive odds. Before starting this problem, let us look at motivational code for today. Consistency beats intensity. You don't have to write perfect code every day. Just write, ship small features, fix one bug, read one page of doc. Over time, these tiny efforts stack into mastery. Great developers aren't made overnight. They are built line by line, commit by commit. It is very true, right? So, success is not a one-day thing. It happens with all the small work, small hard works that we achieve day in and out. So we always need to stack multiple days, day in and day out, and every time we need to progress towards something higher. So we always need to be consistent in our work, and even if we are doing something small, just do a small feature or one bug fix, or read small page of documentation. And over time, these tiny efforts will improve, and this is how a great developer is made. And it doesn't happen overnight. Let's look at the problem statement. Given an integer array, return true if there are 3 consecutive odd numbers in the array, otherwise return false. So in this first example, we can see that there is no 3 consecutive odds. So there is only one consecutive odd number here. And here, in the second example, if you see, we have 5, 7, and 23. These are the 3 consecutive odds, even though 1 is an odd, and 3 is an odd, and 5 is an odd, but we need 3 consecutive odd numbers right next to each other in the increasing of its index, or in the same position as neighbors. Let's see the thought process behind how we can solve this problem. So first thing is, we can have a for loop with I from 0 to n minus 3. N is length of the array. And we can have a check at I is equals to, or array at is equals to 1. If this is the case, then we consider this as an odd number, and similarly we can have so this is an time and space complexity of n and space complexity of O of 1. So here we are iterating from 0 to the last but the third index, and we are having to check the current index and the next 2 index after the current index. So if this condition is true, we return true. This is an approach that comes as an intuition. So let us say this as an approach 1. We can also have another approach where we can have a for loop of I is equals to 0 to n, last of the index, and we can keep a odd count at 0, and if the if the current index is an odd number, then we increase the odd count, and we also check if odd count is equals to 3, then we return true and we break out of the loop as a happy scenario. Else we check, else we make the odd count as 0. So this is slightly optimized approach where number of iterations and space complexity is obviously one. So slightly optimized when compared to the previous uh, approach, as number of iterations is reduced. Is decreased. Okay, let's go to the Leetcode editor and let's see if we can solve this problem. So let's start with the first approach where we would be having a for loop with I starting from 0. This is an approach one where we are having to iterate in the array of length -3, and we are checking if the current index and the index which is 1 after it and 2 after it is also an odd number, and then we return true, else we return false. This, let's try submitting the solution and let's see if the solution works. Okay, so another approach to with the second approach that we discussed is we create a variable odd count and start it out at 0. for loop which goes from 0 to length. And we check if the current number is odd, then we increase the odd count. And if odd count is 3, then we return true. Else we assign the odd count back to 0. And in case of so this is the approach to the same time and space complexity holds good for both the approaches, as we are still using the for loop. Okay, as you see, both solution gets submitted successfully. If you found this video helpful, please like it.